What's up guys, welcome back to Healthy Recipe. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a really simple pesto. You just use some basil, olive oil, garlic and salt, and you can store it for later, and it makes a delicious sauce. You can put it on salads. There's a million things you can do with this ingredient. We're going to get some fresh basil from outside. It's going to be absolutely delicious and 100% organic. So let's get right to work. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have tons of basil. I was never able to grow it in the summer, but I figured out that it's because of the Florida sun that it actually kills the plant. So what I did was I grew some inside my greenhouse indoors, and then I brought it outside. If you guys want to know more how I grow a lot of these spices and veggies on my own, I have a channel. I'll provide the link. It's called the Home Gardening Channel. It's basically all about gardening and growing your own food. So this will keep on growing like crazy. If I don't clip this, it'll get really top heavy and it'll actually fall over. So I'm actually doing these plants a favor by coming in here and harvesting this. So I have more basil that I know what to do with now, and this is Genovese basil. It's really, really good for pasta sauces, pizza, making pesto. It's got really big tender leaves and it's super aromatic. As you can see, I have a ton more here. I have some that's actually growing in an almond milk container, and you can look at the roots. You know, I just put water and nutrients in here, and I started this guy also indoors. We'll cut a little piece off of that. I don't need this much, but I can refrigerate it and use it for something else, just so this plant doesn't fall over. So as you can see, this plant I have already trimmed, and it's got a bunch of extra branches coming off, and it's becoming really bushy. So by cutting the tops and using them, you're actually doing the plant a favor, and it will grow bigger. So now we're going to go inside and take this to a mortar and pestle and make our pesto. Alright, so this is basically the ingredients that I'm going to be using for my pesto. I like to put a little bit of fresh cracked pepper in it to give it a little bit of a heat. And also I like the flavor of black pepper mixed with my pesto. You guys don't have to use the pepper. If you don't like it, you can just use the garlic and the olive oil and the other ingredients. I have my fresh picked basil leaves here. We're gonna clip these. Salt, I'm using Himalayan pink salt, and about 2 tablespoons of organic olive oil. We're not making a big batch of pesto. It's very small. This is just, I make, you know, just a little bit at a time. But if you wanted to up this recipe, you certainly could. You could use more oil and more basil leaves. This is going to be a really, really chunky pesto because I'm using a lot of leaves to the olive oil amount, but it'll be really delicious. And I have 2 big cloves of garlic. This is a lot of garlic. If you don't like the taste of garlic, you could use less. You know, you could use 1 clove or a half a clove, but I love a lot of garlic in my food. So this is basically all the ingredients we're going to be using. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to separate the stems from the leaves for the pesto. Alright, so I like to do this by hand. It's pretty easy. Just take them off, and I leave that main stem. And this goes into my compost pile. I could actually, if I wanted to, take this stem, stick it in water, it will grow roots, and I could grow another pesto plant, and I could give it away to my friends or whatever, because I have a ton of them now, more than I could actually use. So you can see how easy it is to grow this delicious herb. Alright, so I'm going to take more leaves, and just by breaking these off, it smells incredible. This is an amazing herb. You can also just dry it. If you have a dehydrator, you can stick it in a dehydrator, stick it at an oven in low temperature, dry it and turn it into flakes. But there is nothing like using it fresh. You cannot compare. This is incredibly aromatic. Sometimes you get sunburn and some of the leaves get a little bit of a burn there. You just rip that piece out. It's not gonna hurt you. But there we go, and we have a nice big pile. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my mortar and pestle, And this is a marble mortar and pestle. I think I paid around $30 for it on Amazon. I'll provide the link in the comments from my Amazon store if you guys want to order any of the products that I use. Here's another. I will also have some of the seeds that I purchased in my Amazon store if you guys want to look at any of that, or my hydroponic growing stuff is all going to be there. And if you guys buy through those links, then I get like 2 or 3% kickback from Amazon, which is great. It helps out. So basically I put the basil in there. I'm going to add a little bit of oil. I'm going to throw the garlic in. A little bit of salt, and the salt actually helps to kind of break down the basil leaves. It's like astringent. And then we're just gonna mash away. And when you crush the leaves, it releases the flavor into the oil, and it's just a really magical process when you do it with a mortar and pestle as opposed to doing it in a blender or a food processor. It's a little bit more work, but the finished product is well worth it. And as far as the salt, you just want to give it a taste, you know, before you put it away. Be sure it's got enough salt. Add a little bit more oil. Alright, so as you guys can see, it's been really mashed down. See how green it is? It's beautiful. I'm going to add just a final little bit of oil. Finish emulsifying this. And then now, I'm going to add a little bit of the fresh cracked pepper. Let me get this out. Give that nice pepper flavor. Also a little tiny bit of heat. So you add that in. And we're gonna just finish it up. And that's the consistency I like it, because what I'll do with this is now, if I want to make some pasta, I don't need to really add any oil or sauce. I could just boil the pasta, take a tablespoon of this or two, and throw it right in the pasta along with whatever veggies I want, and I got a really simple, delicious, time-saving meal. So we're gonna do it with this now because we're using it today in another recipe. I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop it. Into a small ramekin. Try to get the last little bit, but this mortar is actually pretty heavy. Or pestle, I don't know. I think this is the mortar. Alright guys, so I just transferred it to a glass container, make it look a little prettier for the thumbnail. I hope you guys enjoyed this really simple recipe. It'll save you some time in the kitchen to make this ahead and keep it in the refrigerator. So then you can add it to your pasta dishes. It'll add a world of flavor. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. And I'll see you really soon on the next one.